I would like to welcome Mr. Syed Ahmed Imam Bukhari. He's my guest today in this episode of the Lighthouse. Mr. Syed Ahmed, he's the principal of the Army Public School and College, Gujranwala, Cantt in Pakistan. He's an educationist, reformer, and learner. He has been associated with international schools in leadership positions since 1995, working in Pakistan and Egypt. Welcome, Mr. Ahmed, in this episode.
Well, thank you very much for honoring me. It's an honor to be associated with you, and I've seen you moved around and reached to this particular state, Alhamdulillah. So, you see, life itself is the biggest challenge, and knowing the purpose, how you're going to spend it, and to contribute towards your fellow beings. But the change or transformation came when I came to Egypt and met with international educationists, not only from Egypt, but also from across the world. There were around 15 different nationalities of teachers and professors who were teaching at Pakistan International School, Cairo. And then we had interaction with other principals and faculty members of schools associated with Cambridge, IB, and British Council. And there one able to grasp the idea that what is the best model to reflect upon, because when you come to the international forum, you try to depict your best. It speaks louder than words. So the challenge has been to bring that change which comes from within, which comes through intrinsic motivation, rather than something which is enforced from outside or something which is being just shown as a acting. So in that particular respect, I have been always trying that we should be able to bring education as a force of enlightenment, where people are able to start thinking not what I want them to think, but thinking from their own and coming up with opinion based on their own situations. But the purpose behind is to ensure that they are working for the betterment of community, betterment of their society, and only helping reaching to their full potential.
This is great. And how did you overcome the challenges that you met when you started working with international education?
The first part was, you see, we were coming from a culture where the authority meant that you are able to enforce whatever you wanted. But when you came to the international forum, the level playing field came where you were able to give rights to the students, and you are able to improve your teaching to the level so that everybody, whether they are coming from various diverse backgrounds, were able to grasp, and then not only grasp the ideas or the concepts, but they were able to start taking interest in that subject. So that subject became something that they wanted to pursue in their career. So that required a lot of reflection back on your own teaching methods, coming up with differentiated teaching methods, coming up with ideas like thinking out of the box, not teaching only in the classroom, but taking students on various projects, field trips, taking them out in the garden, taking them out in the market. And that's how we were able to bring a different kind of learning environment, where now you were assessing your own ways of teaching and trying to improve them to the best possible way.
I agree with you on the part of, like reflection. I still recall that Cambridge used to focus on that aspect when they used to train us long ago, when I used to work in international education. So let me ask you this. Of course, by time, your experience, you gain more experience and you change some of the ideas that you used to have. What would you do differently if you face the same challenges nowadays?
Well, this is very interesting. You see, the journey is not the same. The conditions are not the same. So, based on the situation, like for example, let me give you this past example of COVID. COVID brought a lot of integration of IT into the education system. So those people who were a kind of orthodox and used to say that what's the use of this technology, now they have become experts because technology will enhance your skills. And today's world, when we are talking about chat GPT, we are talking about inter artificial intelligence, you are able to see that how teaching is going to become change into the sense where it provides opportunities, where it uplifts the students to the point where they start using various skills, they start using their own ideas, but keeping the focus towards their vision, with their mission of making a world a better place to live in for themselves and for the coming generations. So I will always say that if education is coming with the highlight of enlightenment, where people are able to think for the betterment of the society, rather than I change the minds of children in order to feed them with certain kind of indoctrination, which I'm really against. I want education should develop thinking individuals who come up with one particular notion of making this world a peaceful place to live in. And look at this recent tragedy which happened in Turkey and Syria. The world response was phenomenal, and that brings the humanity closer to one another. And that gives us hope that the coming days and the coming time will be better.
I totally agree, especially, like Chat GPT and its mother company, OpenAI. Although they bring opportunities, they pose a lot of threat for education sector. It depends on how people will deal with it in the coming days. What one advice you give to young people to succeed in life? Like if you choose one.
You see, it's a very interesting question. I always, because I deal with students who are going to join universities, my school goes up to college level. So I always ask them this question, that what is the secret of success, or what is the key to success? And whatever they come with, I always say that you are right. But what I have learned over the life, that hard work should become part of your personality trait. You should not look for shortcuts. There are no shortcuts to success. You cannot dodge people. You cannot deceive them. If you understand something and you are able to transmit that to your future generations, that's the service that you're going to do. And nobody can say that I'm expert in everything, neither I. So there might be 100 of things that I might not be knowing. But what I say is that I don't know, but let me go over, try to understand, and then come back to you while you also talk about it, think about it, and then let's get together and come to the point where we are able to contribute and share knowledge with one another. So you're absolutely right that the most important aspects of today's world is distractions, living in your comfort zone, thinking that you can grasp a lot of attention of media by doing some things out of the box, but coming up with your own definition of education, coming up with your own definition of training, making your own theory, is making influencing people around you. That only comes with your actions, with your behavior, with your conduct over a longer period of time. And that is what my advice is to the younger generation, that work with dedication and commitment. And over a longer period of time, you will get that kind of respect from your community, from your colleagues, from your students, from your teachers, that you will be always bowing your head in front of Allah Almighty.
Thank you for these great insights. It has been a pleasure listening to the insights and the experiences that you're sharing with